Okay, can we bring Mr. Blakeman up?
Okay, wow. I got these bright lights. I can't see you. I can hear you though. Thank you. Hey, little perspective. I've been here a while. A lot of teachers have been here a while, and students often don't have a historic understanding of the high school they're in. We're in a renaissance right now, a rebirth. There is a birth and growth of athletics and extracurricular activities at Teton. I don't know if you're aware of it, but there was a time not very long ago when there weren't many fans, and there wasn't much noise, and there wasn't a lot of enthusiasm. It was hard to recruit people for sports, and that is not the case now, and it's largely because of you guys. And you can make it happen, you can make it grow. It's a good movement, and I think you should keep that going. This is going to be a little tricky here. I'm going to take my glasses off. Show of hands. When you were in first grade, did you know how to dance? Show of hands. When you were in first grade, did you know how to sing? Okay, show of hands. When you were in first grade, did you know how to run? Okay, here's my first message. I've got 4 messages today. This is the first one. I meet an enormous number of teenagers who tell me that they don't run or they don't know how to run. Did they forget? Because I don't believe it. You're selling yourself short if you think you don't know how to run or you can't run. If you don't want to run, I understand that. But if you got guts and you got a heart, and you're not out for another sport, you should be on my team. Because we make really fun trips every year. We usually bring hardware back. It's a good thing to be a part of. Coach Hendricks, will you come on up, please?
If they had to start taking 2 buses for cross country.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to echo what Coach Blakeman just told you. When I was a sophomore in high school, I had forgotten how to run because I've been playing ice hockey from first grade through my senior year of high school. And I decided to go out for cross country in college, and it hurt really, really badly. And I thought running 3 miles was absolutely out of the question, impossible. But it's not. You get in shape, you develop relationships with your teammates, and they become some of the most meaningful relationships in your life. Cross country team, would you agree that that's true? I think so. And they are waiting with open arms to welcome you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're talking, I am talking to you and I need your attention. They are waiting to welcome you into their team, into their brotherhood and sisterhood next year. So come out for cross country next year. You can do it. Even if you think you've forgotten how to run, you haven't. The other thing I want to say to the cross country team and to all of you is that the success of the cross country team this past season is not a coincidence, and it's not luck, and it's really one thing. It's because they showed up to practice every day and they worked their guts out every day. And I think the same can probably be said for the football team and the soccer team, and all of the teams we've had this past fall have amazing success. So I want to congratulate them on their willingness to work really, really hard and remind you that you can apply that principle to any part of your life. If you want to do really, really well in school, all you have to do is show up and work hard. If you want to play an instrument really well, show up and work hard.
If 10 women in this who have not done cross country commit to cross country next fall, I can almost guarantee that the women's team will take first place at state next year. That's my promise. If 5 new men right here, sitting in this room, run track in the spring and train over the summer, we will take state for the 5th time in 6 years next fall. It's a simple formula. Get out and participate. Women's varsity cross-country team, come on up, please. Little of the backstory here. These women were ranked 5th in the state going into race day. We had a pretty good feeling like we could do better than that. We sent some messages and surprised a number of teams at the state meet. One of those teams was last year's state champions, and they only lost 3 runners on their roster. That was Timberlake. We had, it was the deepest field we've ever run against at state. And I'll give you a sense of that. The medalists at state are the top 20 runners. And I've never in my coaching career, and this is reading from other states as well, I've never seen a team in 5th place, Gooding, in 5th place, had 5 medalists. That's never happened in my memory. We won the state championship one year with 3 women on the podium. And that was the 5th place team this year. It was a tough field. It was the deepest field that we've ever run against. This is probably the finest cross-country team I've ever coached on the women's side, including the teams that won first, the teams that won second in prior years. How did that happen? Every woman up here ran her very best race last Saturday. Tell you a little bit about cross country. A really strong, one of the things I'm looking for as a coach is I want my runners to be physically close together in the race. If they cross the line close together, even if we don't have the first place runner, if we can stay together, we'll move faster and we'll get more points. Cross country is based on points. It's a team sport, and you get 1 point for your place as you cross the line. So the first place runner earns 1 point. Second place runner earns 2 points. Your top 5 runners score, low score wins. If you've got perfect scores of 15 points, if you get the first 5 places, okay? We had a tight pack. I just crunched some numbers. It's pretty exciting. These ladies don't even know this yet. But our gap between our first place and our 5th place runner was the tightest gap in all the teams at state. Our gap between the first place runner and the 7th place runner was the tightest gap of any team at state. This crew is going to be back next year. There are no seniors up here. I think they already have their eye on a prize. So there you go. Mr. Mello, can you come on up here, please? Mr. Mello, on behalf of the women's cross country team. Off the front of these trophies because they're getting engraved with athletes' names. Ladies, thank you very much. It's been and Teton has something.
The cross-country women's team wants to wish football good luck in their game tonight and congratulate Micaiah for making the All-Star softball team.
Thank you.
That's why I like team support.
Varsity cross country team, can you come up, please? So we took 8 runners to state. RJ Raul was our 8th man. He was ready to jump in if somebody got sick, and he supported his team. This is the sequence that they finished in. I want to give you an idea of why I was panicking up at Lewiston and why it ended up being a pretty fun day team-wise. As you know, Caleb Moosman won the race. More on that in just a second. But we had our second man, Brian, was on fire that day. He had his best race of the year. Gabe had his best race of the year. Thomas, and on down the line, every single man ran his best race of the year. Zane, I think we should be testing these guys for drugs. Zane ran 90 seconds faster than he's ever run before. It was unbelievable. Every man, I want you to understand, this is a project that every single man, it was so close. At a quarter mile to go, it was so close. I was pretty darn sure we were in 3rd place. And I was sort of I was happy for Caleb, but I was going to the finish line thinking, well, that's going to be rough to lose the streak. And when I watched Caleb come across, then 13 guys crossed the finish line, and we haven't had a gap like that behind our lead runner in a long time. And I was just shaking my head, and all of a sudden, you know, here comes Brian, and in 25 seconds, Wyatt had crossed the line. And if you do that, it's really hard to go up against that. I'll give you a wait. Here's how to look at this. Our 5th man was in, our 6th man was in right behind him. Our 6th man was 20 points ahead of anybody else's 6th man. The team that got 2nd, he was 32 points ahead of Sugar's 6th man. If it had come down to a tie, Wyatt Christensen would have sealed the bargain for us. There were a lot of runners. Snake River put 2 guys in here. Sugar Salem put 2 guys in here. They had a bunch of guys in here, but they couldn't put a whole team in. Their teams were finishing up back here. And that's how we won by 2 points. It's the scariest state championship I've ever gone to. But also pretty darn rewarding in a lot of ways. The most rewarding of all of them. So maybe, Mr. Mello? Coach, can you grab the banner? Just show you this. Gentlemen, it's been my honor and my privilege, and Coach Hendricks, I know I speak for her as well, to be your coach this year. Thank you for so much, the things you've given me. And I think Gabe had something to want to say.
Yeah, we just wanted to thank everybody for the support we got this year, the teachers for working with us, athletes, and the parents for their support, for awesome coaches for the time they put in, for all you guys out there that came to our home meets. So, thanks a bunch.
guys know that every guy out here has put in their heart and soul, and you owe them your kudos. So.
Okay, just a little bit about Caleb's race. This is pretty extraordinary. 4 times in school history we've had state champion bring that honor back to the school, and I think Caleb's win at state this year was the biggest one of those 4. I want you to know a few things. The guy that he beat in 3 seasons of track and cross country has never been beaten by a 3A runner before. That Caleb is the first one to ever beat him. Caleb ran the fastest 5K time of any Teton runner in history by, listen to this, by 30 seconds. Just to let you know how I was sweating and bleeding on this, I'm watching the race from about 500 meters out, and I'm down in the valley, and the runners crest over a hill, and I can see James Withers' head pop up, and I started a mental count in my head, and I hit 10 when Caleb's head popped over the hill. He's 500 meters out. He's just a little more than 1 lap around the track, and he's 10 seconds behind the guy. And I just thought, ooh. This kid's a strong kicker. I don't know how this can happen. And I watched the video the other day, and I still don't know how it happened, because he's not even 100 yards from the finish, and he's still 2 seconds behind him. And at 60 meters, he's flying past the kid like his feet have wings on them. Just fantastic.